Good afternoon, and welcome to the Committee of Adjustment hearings for Suburban Panel 2. We are a City of Ottawa quasi-judicial tribunal that holds public hearings to consider Planning Act applications, including minor variances to the zoning requirements and consents to sever. Our hearings are now in person at Ben Franklin Place, 101 Centerpoint Drive. We also enable remote participation by video conferencing for our registered speakers. We are live streaming on YouTube, and the video will be archived and available for future viewing by the public. My name is Fabien Poulin. I'll be chairing today's hearings, and you can address me by my name or as chair. And with me are my fellow members, Jay Baltz, George Barrett, and Heather McLean. The procedure for the hearings will be as follows. Listed on the agenda and appearing on screen from time to time are the applications we'll hear today. For the sake of efficiency, I may deal with agenda items in a different order. Panel members have reviewed the planning reports and any written submissions in support or opposition to each of the applications. Today, we'll hear any oral submissions relating to the applications. As part of the statutory public notification requirements, each applicant was required to post a sign on the property in question before the hearing. They also had to confirm in writing that they did so, or they'll need to swear or affirm an oath today that they fulfilled the sign posting requirements. Otherwise, we may have to adjourn or postpone the hearing. The panel may ask for a brief presentation of an application followed by questions for the applicant and city planning staff. We will then hear from members of the public who have registered to speak, and we may also have questions for them. Finally, the applicant, who has the burden of proof, will have an opportunity to make final comments and reply. Please address your comments to me as the chair, starting with your name and spelling it if necessary, and your municipal address for the record. All presentations are limited to 5 minutes. Any exceptions will be at my discretion. At the end of the hearing, the panel may either make an oral decision or we may reserve our decision, which means it won't be delivered today. In either case, and within 10 days, the Committee of Adjustment will send the official written decision and reasons for it to all parties, participants, and anyone else who has requested a copy. Does anyone have any questions about the procedure we'll be following today? There are no questions. We have several applications to hear today, but we first need to deal with some preliminary and procedural matters. Are there any declarations of interest on this panel or for any other panel by any of the members? No declarations of interest. So we'll begin and we'll begin and turn to the applications that we have to deal with today, and we'll first deal with those applications that are unopposed. We have 3 unopposed applications, and they're put on an agenda that will allow us to proceed to approve them. For applications to be moved to this fast-track agenda, they need to qualify as follows. There are no objections or concerns from parties, applicant, city, or the public. No amendments are required. No registered speakers. Sign posting declaration has been received. The applicant or their agent has confirmed that they agree with all requested conditions, if there are any, and there are no questions from panelists. The 3 items, I'll go one by one. The first item on our list of unopposed applications is item number 1, having to do with 1015 and 1045 Dairy. All those in favor of approval of this application, please raise your hands. This application is approved. Item number 2 on the list is item 4, having to do with 2704 Paget. And I'd like to ask the panel if they approve of this application. All those in favor, please raise your hands. That application is also approved. The third and final application on the unapproved list, or the unopposed list, is item number 5, having to do with 13 Melva. And I'd like to ask the panel if they approve of this application. All those in favor, raise your hands. Thank you very much. This application is also approved. So now we'll move on to the items we'll hear today, starting first with application item number 2. And this has to do with 6851 Edgar-Brault. And I'm looking for, I'm sorry, I've done this before to your name, Yar Mohammed. And sorry if I butchered it.
Good afternoon. So my name is Said Yar Mohammed, and I'm here with my colleague Amrinder, and our address would be 6851 Edgar-Brault. It is a consent to sever and a minor variance application.
Would you like to give us a brief description of your application?
Yes. Good afternoon, panel. So this is a minor variance and consent to sever application for 6851 Edgar-Brault Street. We have a presentation prepared for this, and we would like the coordinator to support us on that.
It'll be queued up in just a minute.
Thank you. So as mentioned, this is a minor variance and consent application for 6851 Edgar-Brault, that is in Ward 1, Orleans. Can we move to slide 3, please? Yeah, thank you. So the site is located under R1 WW zone, that's the residential first density, and within the suburban transit designated as neighborhood with an evolving overlay. Next slide, please. Thank you. So this is south of St. Joseph Boulevard and within the Orleans ward, Orleans area as mentioned earlier. Can we move to the next slide, please? So next two slides are the existing site conditions. The subject property has a two-story detached dwelling unit, which is going to be demolished to construct the new proposed development. If we can please move to the next slide. So these are another few existing conditions of the site, showing how the site looks like in terms of the existing site yard and the backyards. Next slide, please. Thank you. So the current survey plan has a site area of about 821.4 square meters with a frontage of about 22.86 on the Edgar-Brault Street. Next slide, please. So this is a draft 4R showcasing the severance of the lot being severed into two parts. The part one being the southwest lot and part two being the northeast lot. As mentioned, southwest lot has an area of about proposed area of about 411.9 square meters, and the lot 2 has an area of about 409.5 square meters proposed, both having a frontage of about 11 meters on the Edgar-Brault Street. Okay, next please. So this is the site plan showcasing the proposed development. We are proposing one detached dwelling unit with two additional units on each lot. And as you can see, there is a generous setback of about 12 meters on both the rear lots, on both the rear sides of the lots. On southwest lot, the softscaping area within the rear lot is about 38.21%, while in the northeast lot, it is 40.29%. Also, the parking which has been proposed is 3 parking spots in the rear of both the lots. So in total, 6 parking spots. And it preserves the street's view from the front as is permitted in the bylaws. Okay, next slide, please. Thank you. So these are the two elevations, the front and the rear elevations, showcasing the proposed height of the building is about 8.16 meters, while the allocated or permitted height for this zone is about 11 meters. Next slide, please. So these are the right and the left elevations, showcasing minimal windows to preserve the privacy of the neighbors in the area. Next slide, please. So in the interest of time, I won't go into the detailed description of how the criteria is evaluated for subdivision, and I can definitely answer to these questions at the end of the presentation. But I would quickly highlight that the proposed lots have adequate municipal infrastructure to have the proposed dwelling units. Each lot would be functional and compatible with the neighborhood lots, which are already proposed in this development. Thank you. So I'm going to skip slide 12, 13, and 14, which are on the evaluation of the subdivision as per the Section 51 of the Planning Act. Moving on to the minor variance required for the two lots, we only need minor variance in terms of the lot areas as per the zoning bylaw 2008-250 as amended. In the zone R1 WW, 450 square meters allowed minimum lot areas, while the proposed lot area for southwest lot is 411.9, while for the northeast lot it's 409.5. The thing to consider here is 91% of the lot areas is compatible with the proposed zoning, and we need relief only in terms of 9% of the lot areas, thus making this a minor variance requirement. So next slide, please. So these are few precedent properties which have a lot area of smaller than 450 square meters within the 250-meter radius of the subject property. Next slide, please. So these are few of the examples which show similar lot development or similar lot height in the area which we are proposing. Next slide, please. So moving on to the 4 tests of minor variance as per the Section 45(1) of the Planning Act. Regarding test 1, we believe that only the variances are minor in nature, and it won't affect the neighboring context or the city infrastructure. The proposed development is compatible with the neighborhood character, reflecting the area's pattern of detached dwellings, similar build forms and materials, while maintaining the visual and functional features of the neighborhood. Next slide, please. So regarding the test 3 and 4, the proposal does align with the official plan in terms of the intensification, healthy and inclusive communities, Section 4.6 related to the urban design, Section 5.4 relating to the urban transit, and even the evolving overlay. Further, regarding the test 4, the build form is compatible with the neighborhood context, and the proposed lots comply with other zoning requirements in terms of the setbacks, building heights, parking, and even the driveway. So next slide, please. So this is the tree information report which has been prepared, and 4 trees have been identified. All the 3 rear trees are privately owned by the owner, and the first one on the front of the property is jointly owned with the city. Due to the proposed development, though four of these trees are proposed to be removed, but if we move to the next slide, we have a new tree planting plan which has been proposed, and in replacement, 6 new trees are being added to the site, 2 in the rear of each lot and 1 in the front of each lot. Proposing the 4 rear trees are going to be private trees, and the 2 can either be fully or partially on the city lot. So I would just thank you. I would just like to summarize. Considering the said things, we are in accordance with the proposed severance and the conditions we have for the minor variance. So we request the approval for consent to sever and the minor variance. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I just want to confirm once again, you agree with the conditions?
Yes.
That
Yes, sir.
requested for approval of this application?
Yes, sir. We do agree.
Thank you. Okay, I'd like to ask the panel if they have any questions for the applicant. Mr. Barrett, do you have any questions?
Yes. With regards to the hedging along the side of the property line, could you explain what you will be doing with the hedging, please?
So the hedges are shared by both properties. And then there is a section of the hedging at the front of the property, of the abutting property, which is the neighbor's hedge. But for the most part, the hedges along the middle of the property are shared.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The trees, so can you explain why all of the trees, the one that's closest to the middle of the lot, I assume is underneath the parking, but why do the other 2 trees in the back need to be removed?
So they are not in align with the, not just the parking, but also the storage space for the garbage and the lot which has been developed at the back side, rear side.
Yeah, I guess the question is why
Yeah.
can't, I mean, storage space can be moved, but why?
Because there are two separate lots which we need to have be functional in their own parts, and we need to have those kind of amenities up there. So
So I guess I'm getting at is the lot isn't, the substandard lots that you're asking us to create are not large enough to allow movement of the structures and paving in order to preserve trees, then is what you're saying.
So that is why we have proposed the new replacement trees in front of in against the existing trees to accommodate both the planting provisions as well as the development which is requested by the client.
Yeah, I noted that I think the comment from forestry was that they wanted the city tree protected.
Yeah.
So are they in agreement because it's a shared or city-owned tree? Are they in agreement with removing it now?
Yes, sir. So we have discussed and we can rework on that part in terms of once the grading plan is ready and once we are on this, once we are developing the site and the grading and the other plans are getting improved. So yes, so that is something which we have agreed to and we can work on that in the later stage.
So one of the trees will be then
So that's the first, the tree in the front of the
in the
property.
front,
Yeah, the city-owned tree. Yeah.
but it's not shown in your final plans. You had two new trees out there.
Yes, because we don't still have the grading plan and that becomes part of when the site plan approval is, building permit is going to happen. So that's the next step.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Always.
So Mr. Bose, we'll give you an opportunity to ask forestry that same question if you'd like.
I was going to take that opportunity anyway. Yes,
Okay,
thank you,
well,
Mr. Chair.
I'm glad. Okay, I'd like to move on to planning and ask them for their comments on this application. Ms. King?
Yep, hi, so no concerns from our perspective, but happy to answer any questions.
Okay, we'll go right to Mr. Baltz.
I saw Ms. Young pop up and then disappear, so perhaps forestry can comment.
Hi, my apologies. I'm just joining right now, so I didn't hear the question or what.
So the question was that there's a tree that is either owned by the city or jointly owned in the front yard. And the question is, I noted that forestry wanted that protected, but in the plans, it's showing two new trees in the front and that tree gone. So what is forestry's position on this? The applicant did say there's a discussion about changing once they have the grading plan, being able to preserve that tree, but.
Thanks. Yeah, so I'm just looking through my colleagues' comments, and it looks like we have a condition in place to get a grading and servicing plan, which I think the intent would be to work around that tree, like to design the plan to work around that tree. So that would be our preferred option, to retain the tree over replacement with two new trees, although there will be tree planting required as well.
And you're okay with the removal of the, I believe, 3 trees in the rear?
I am not seeing anything on that just right now. Presumably, I don't see anything in the comments saying anything about
thank you.
that. Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. I'd like to ask is if the public, anyone from the public has any comments to make? Anyone from the public in-house? Anyone online?
Mr. Chair, we have 2 speakers online. I'll bring them into the meeting now.
Thank you. Are we waiting for Renee Sauvé?
That's correct, and Philip Bernard as well.
Is Ms. Sauvé or Mr. Bernard available? Minor technical issue.
Do you hear us?
Can you hear us now?
I can hear somebody. Who am I speaking with?
Philip Bernard.
Hello, Mr. Bernard. You have some comments to make with respect to this application?
Yes, I will read the material that was distributed to panel members. So in order to fully appreciate the circumstances, issues surrounding the property in question, some background historical information is provided to assist the panel adjudicators. Edgar-Brault Street, formerly known as Pasteur Street, older portion of the street was a cul-de-sac starting from St. Joseph and ending on top of the second hill where properties at 6870 and 6871 are located. By the way, I'm located at 6859 Edgar-Brault Street on the west side of the property in question. Now, all properties on that portion of the street consist of single one-story or split-level bungalows with garages on large lots. Two of these properties have basement apartment and one has an in-law suite. So next to these existing properties was agricultural land which was developed in the early 2000s and became the newer portion of the street, resulting in an extension of the street spanning from beyond the top of the second hill to Queenswood Heights, along with the construction of dwellings and a type of runabout at the end. There are a few newer lots that are smaller in size, but all have single-family dwellings with garages, some with 2 stories. It is important to note that these newer properties and dwellings are not visible from the older lower portion of Edgar-Brault Street. Not only in consideration, not only the severance proposal doesn't match lot size of surrounding properties on the lower portion of the street, it also doesn't meet the zoning bylaw minimum lot area. Proposed 2 replacement dwelling does not match any of the surrounding structures located on the lower portion of the street in appearance, height, total number of dwellings per unit, that's 3, no garage, and of course, outdoor parking spot, and possibly more vehicle parked on the streets. When we got the initial design, there were no parking spots shown in the back. So now I see a different one today. If I may continue, proposed development would require, in my opinion, a complete excavation of the current lot to the property lines, which are most likely result in damages or destruction to the cedar edges located on both east and west side of the property. That's at 6859 and 6841 Edgar-Brault, which have been there for over 50 years. The current view of the surrounding area will also be obstructed by the proposed structures. The older portion of Edgar-Brault Street is adjacent to a forest/ravine creek area to the south, which has an ecosystem that provides in part habitat to a number of wildlife species such as birds, squirrels, groundhogs, beavers, wild turkeys, rabbits, so on and so forth. A number of these species cross and spend time on all properties at any given time. The construction of the proposed dwelling will in no doubt disrupt the current pattern of these animals and have detrimental effects on a cherished and unique ecosystem. In conclusion, based on the reason outlined previously in the consideration section, we, Lynn and Philip Bernard, object to the current proposal in its current form and request that this application be denied by the Committee of Adjustment. And that's basically the correspondence that I sent forward to the panel members. Now, if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
I'll check in with the panel and see if they'd like to ask some questions of you, sir. Mr. Barrett, do you have any questions for the applicant?
No, not at this time.
Okay. Ms. McLean? No. Mr. Bulls? No, no questions. Thank you very much for your input, sir. Much appreciated.
Okay, thank you. Thank you all for your consideration.
Thank you. Now, moving on to Renee Sauvé, are you available?
Yes, can you hear me, panel?
We can hear you.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Chair. Yes, Chair, my name is Renee Sauvé, and I'm also joined today by the other owner on 6846 Edgar-Brault. We are across from the proposed development. We did submit our comments in writing as requested. I will not repeat those here in any detail. I just thought I would highlight a bit. We did get a bit new information today, Chair, so if I can just provide a summary of our comments and maybe a little bit clarity related to some of the information we received today. Our comments basically are related to the severe change in the space and the subsequent effect of that change in space. As noted by Mr. Bernard, our neighborhood, which we consider Edgar-Brault, is largely the original neighborhood is with very large lots with a lot of greenery. So the area which has been noted by the development at the new end of Edgar-Brault, which is not visible from the lower end of Edgar-Brault, is quite a different nature. Having said that, all those lots, while smaller, do just contain single family dwellings. So that would be the first point I would make. With respect to the decrease in space, we did hear that some of the vegetation has to be removed, which is of concern to us. However, it wasn't clear to us when indicating the shared hedges, what would be done with those. Does that mean that half of the hedges would be removed, which of course would likely mean that the whole hedge would probably die. So if we could get some clarity, particularly on those shared hedges, the hedges that are not shared, we can assume will remain. So if we could just get some clarity on that point. So just to say, in terms of that severe reduction in space, it's really not fitting in with what our neighborhood looks like. We have larger lots of greenery, low-rise buildings, and parking out in the front of the house and not at the rear. So we really can't see how this proposal as it currently stands at all fits in with our neighborhood. Related to those smaller lots, it does, we think, exacerbate issues related to parking. I did notice the new information with respect to 3 parking spots, and we think that is obviously a good thing. However, there does raise concerns about snow removal and snow storage on the current proposal. The current proposal has parking at the back, which then requires long driveways. So that really makes us think with these smaller lots that now have extensive driveways, it's really hard for us to imagine where that snow removal is going to be. And we do have already some congestion issues on our street, which due to a local elderly residents, which often the workers park there. And of course, during events, it's impossible to find parking. So in terms of clearance, the general amount of traffic, this is also a school route with quite a sharp corner. So we do have concerns related to space parking in terms of this new development. And the last point I think I would make, just to support some of the comments Mr. Bernard said, the removal of mature vegetation and greenery in general, we see as quite problematic in the sense that Edgar-Brault is situated to actually follow this ravine and creek and has a high degree of vegetation and wildlife that have these corridors for habitat in our neighborhood. So we do definitely have concerns related to the wildlife aspects, as already previously noted. And I would say also with current proposal of driveways at the extreme side of these smaller lots, I think I understand the concern of the adjacent neighbors in terms of the increase in noise, probably a lack of privacy in their own backyards, and of course the wildlife issues, as I mentioned. The decrease in vegetation and mature vegetation, of course, does have an air quality issue, a cooling event in summer. So these are some of the things that are of particular concern to us. I would say one question I did have, again, this is maybe for follow-up later, but it was our understanding this lot had already been previously severed, and I don't know if what the policies are with respect to ongoing severing, but so that's a question I would raise. So just in conclusion, Chair and panelists, we do have an issue that this will not fit in. Moving from one single dwelling to 6 is a dramatic change. It's not minor. I understand the term minor in terms of its legal implications from the current reduced standards, but it's not minor in terms of when you're already severing and then requesting a variance on already reduced standards. So it does really, for our perspective, does not fit in with the neighborhood and exacerbates parking issues, probably traffic issues, some snow removal, and some of the wildlife issues. So I will leave it at that, Chair. And if our developers are able to shed any light on some of the questions I would raise, I greatly appreciate that. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Ms. Sauvé. I'd like to ask the panel if they have any questions for the public. Mr. Barrett? No, I don't. Okay, Ms. McLean? Mr. Baltz?
Sure, well, I'll ask the questions. If I can address the applicants. So I wasn't clear about your answer for the shared hedges last time. Are they going to be preserved, the ones on the lot line with the speakers?
So based on the survey, we do have the hedges that align with both properties. But I would have to maybe double check if they will be preserved, or sorry, if they will be preserved. Yeah.
I assume if they're jointly owned, you need permission of the adjoining owners to remove them or damage them severely.
So we just want to clarify, we don't know the current center point of those hedges at the moment. And if the center point is on the adjacent owner's property or the current owner's property, that can happen in the detailed review. And if that is the case, we can work on that part.
Thank you.
Any further questions for the public? That's where we are going.
It was a question from the public that they were not going to be addressing,
Okay.
able to address to the applicant.
Okay,
So
thank you, Mr. Baltz. Okay, I'd now like to move to planning, ask planning if they have any comments to make with respect to this application. Ms. King?
Yep, no further comments. Unless, I guess to clarify, because the member of the public did ask if there was a severance here previously. There has not.
Perfect question I was going to ask. Thank you. Any of the panel members have any questions for planning? Mr. Barrett? No, I don't. Thanks. Ms. McLean? Mr. Baltz? No further questions. Okay, great. All right, is there any further members of the public that'd like to make some comments? Anyone online? No one online. Then I'll leave you to the last word. If you'd like to go ahead.
Yeah. Just to summarize, 6851 Edgar-Brault will allocate more housing units. which are drastically needed, especially in the housing crisis that we're in right now. With skyrocketing rent prices and home prices, we need to create a pivotal point for Canadians to save up and afford homes. So we believe 6851 Edgar-Brault provides the solution as it complies with the provincial legislation Bill 23, Ottawa's official plan, and the zoning bylaw. By providing gentle intensification and having a strategic plan, we can work towards a tangible solution. So that'll be it.
Thank you very much. Now I'd like to ask the panel if they would like to reserve on this application. All those in favor, please raise your hands. The application will be reserved and you'll receive our written decision in about 10 days. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bennett.
Okay, our next application we'll hear today is item number 3, having to do with 9 Hastings. I'm looking for an R. Stewart. Good afternoon. There you
Good
go.
afternoon.
Could you state your name and your address too, please?
My name is Roger Stewart.
Mr. Stewart, can you just press that green button so it's, there you go. You have to repeat.
So Roger with a D, Stewart with an EW, and I live in Stittsville at 18 Turtleback Way.
Do you have a presentation to make, sir?
Yeah.
Okay, would you like to give us a brief
Okay.
presentation?
Mr. Chair, panel members, I'm here representing my son, Andrew Stewart, and his wife, Kelsey, who have owned this property for over a year now. Andrew is a orthopedic surgeon at the Queensway Carleton, and he's a very busy surgeon, and he wants to live close to the hospital. He'd love to live on the water. That's why they purchased this lot, and the plan is to build there, work there, raise a family there. So there's 3 parts to this minor variance. Maybe I'll go back to where we were last month. We were here September 4th. And I guess the circulation was done and we at the time had 1 minor variance. We were looking at a height minor variance. During the circulation, it was discovered by planning pointed out to us that we needed 2 more to deal with driveway width and driveway location. So I'm here today to talk to all 3. So I'll start with the height, number 1. Current bylaw allows for 8.5 meter height. Proposed design requires a 10-meter height. It's a very unique property. It's on the river. So it's within the, it's within the regulation limit of the Rideau Valley Conservation Authority for their 100-year flood line. We'll be building, the proposal is to build outside of that line, but it's still within 50 meters. So requires their approval. And one of their requirements is that the basement floor level be a foot above the 1 in a 100-year flood line. So with the basement set, and we're not trying to build a massive 3 or 4 story home here. We just want to build a 2-story home, but with the basement required to be up a little higher and the city's height guideline of 8.5 meters, with current building standards in the city, we want to build a really nice custom home here with 10-foot ceilings. I don't think we're out of line asking for approval to go a little higher. We're taking down a 2-story home and we're building a 2-story home. It's just the rules have changed now. The house that's there now, in fact, actually we had the demo done a few weeks ago, but the house that was there used to get basement flooded all the time, and we don't want to deal with that. We want to build a home that's going to be there for a few hundred years. And my son is planning on living there for his career. He wants to live and work near the hospital because he does a lot of on-call. He's in and out a lot of time. He does 5 to 550 joints a year. Yeah, and another thing is we're looking into next year. We're looking at the draft for next year, and in next year's draft, the height limit's going up to 11 meters anyways. So we're just trying to jump the gun because we want we actually did want to build this year, but we've kind of been pushed back now, but we want to press on. So anyway, we're asking for 10 meters instead of the current 8.5. Second minor variance is to deal with driveway width. The current driveway there leading up to their garage is 11 meters wide. The zoning bylaw limits the new driveway to 6 meters. We've proposed 5 meters, but we're also proposing a triple car garage. And in order to get into the garage, you need to widen the driveway. So on the plan, you'll see that the driveway widens up to 10 meters just to get into the garage. And to have a 6 meter limit, that means you can't have a triple garage in the city, which I think is not right. So we've asked to go just at the entrance of the garage up to 10 meters so we can get into the garage. That's it for number 2. Number 3 is the driveway location. And I understand the reason for the zoning bylaw not allowing parking in front of the living portion of the house. In this case, we've designed a house with a side entry garage, which to me and to my family and my kids, they think it's pleasing. From the road, you don't just look at 3 garage doors. So we've got this driveway that comes up in front of the living portion of the house, but then it turns into the driveway. And I get the idea of the zoning bylaw to prevent people parking up in front of the living room window and destroying your front yard. But we've actually proposed a front yard here that's 14 meters by 31 meters. Like, it's a massive front yard with soft landscaping. And we need it because it's actually going to have the septic system under it. But I get the idea for the bylaw of not paving your front yard to park cars on it, but that's not our intent here with this plan. In fact, if we did try to park on the driveway, we couldn't get into the garage. So anyway, that's the 3 minor variances and my take on them. I feel we've met the 4 tests of the Planning Act. I think planning agrees with me on that one. I agree with all the conditions of the feedback I've got from the city staff on condition, like, engineering plan. A lot of things will be dealt with at building permit stage. We've had tree report done, and we have solutions for that too. Anyways, I ask for your approval, and I'm certainly here to answer any questions if you have any.
Thank you very much. I'd like to ask the panel, starting with Mr. Baltz, if you've got any questions for the applicant.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So the height, it is on a sloping lot, correct?
Yeah, it's on the sloping lot.
And what's the height at the front? I think that was less than 10.
I know it's in the report. I think it's about 8 meters, like from the height from the grade at the front of the garage, like the driveway to the top is 8 meters.
Yeah, I think that's what I have in my notes.
Yeah.
So
from the road.
It's
gonna look just fine. It's just a sloping lot, and you see at the back, it's the base, it's a walkout basement, that's all.
Thank you. And just to be clear, the front wall that your driveway is in front of is only of the extension of the house that's further back from the.
Sorry?
So the shape of the house is, there's a long part of the house and then an extension off to the side behind the garage, right? And that extension off to the side, so the driveway comes in and then goes in that way.
Right.
Behind that, there's a structure, that's living space, correct?
Yes.
And that's the front wall that the driveway is in front technically.
Yes.
But the facade that's closer to the road, there's no driveway in front of that, correct?
Right.
Just one, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Ms. McLean, do you have any questions? Mr. Barrett, do you have any questions? No questions. Okay, I'd like now moving on to the public and see if there's anyone from the public, either in the chamber or online. Do they have any questions for or make comments? No one online either. So we don't have anyone else. You have the opportunity now to have the last word, sir. If you'd like, you can make.
Yeah, my son has been basically every weekend this summer, he goes out there and they picnic, and they've met all the neighbors. And I know one neighbor sent in a letter, and I think I've addressed most of his concerns, but some of them you can't address. I mean, for someone to say that building a house is going to cause his roof to fly off, I just don't agree. So, no, I ask for your approval.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, we will ask the panel for, if they would like to reserve in this application. All those in favor to reserve, please raise your hands. The application is going to be reserved, so you'll have our decision within 10 days. We'll give it to you in writing.
Okay. And you won't be mailing that, right?
You can email it, I think, Madam Secretary.
We will do email.
Thank you.
Thank you. I believe that concludes our hearings for today. Thank you all very much. Appreciate it.
Mr. Chair, no.
Oh,
We have a couple more items.
I forgot Spark Street.
Oh, just one more.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
number
forgot
6, 200 Sparks.
Oh, geez. Okay, we have 200 Spark Street is the next application. And I'm looking for J. Martins.
We have a live mic out there, I think is causing feedback.
Do we have?
Miss Martin's online. She should be joining now.
Okay. Ms. Martins, are you there?
Are you, can
Hello?
you hear me? Hi.
Yep, we can hear you now.
Okay, great.
So we're before we move on to your presentation, I just want to make sure we read into the record the changes that are to be made to the application. So the severed land now is no longer just parts 4. It is now part 5, 6, 7, and 8. That's the
Correct.
severed land. And it will have an area of 862 square meters. Is that correct?
Correct.
And the retained land will now be part 10. And
Mhm.
will have frontage of 12.11 meters. And it will have a 365 square meter area. Is that correct?
That sounds right.
Okay. So now we can proceed onto your presentation.
Thank you, panelists. If you could move to the next page, please. So this application, as you know from our meeting in September, is to sever the property at 200 to 220 Spark Street. The retained parcel is 220 Spark Street, also known as Howard Jewelers. The severed parcel is 200 to 214 Spark Street, which includes several businesses, including Tim Hortons. Both parcels have been separate lots for a long time. They were purchased by the same owner, or the same family rather, and due to a legal oversight, incidentally merged when there was a corporate amalgamation. So there is no construction, servicing, or infrastructure changes proposed. This is really just to correct that legal accident that occurred during the amalgamation. Next page. So this is to address the 2 consent conditions that the city proposed. The first is proof of independent water, sanitary, and storm services. I will point out that these buildings have existed independently for a long time. As you can see from the picture, they had different roof lines, different frontages, etc. There are no front or side rear yard services, so the services by default are entering from the public right-of-way. So therefore, I would request that this condition be removed because by their very nature, they would have to be independent. The second is the joint use and maintenance agreement that was suggested. There are no party wall structural elements, common driveways, or landscaping. As you can see, not even the roof is common. So I would respectfully request that this condition be removed. And I think that's it. Oh, I've lost your sound.
Lost my sound because.
There we go.
So there are 2 other conditions that are standard Committee of Adjustment conditions. One is the registered reference plan confirming frontage and lot area of the severed lands, and then electronic registration preparation documents for our certificate of official. You
Those
good
are
with
fine.
that? Okay, good. Okay, now we'll move on to the panel and see if they've got any questions for you. Mr. Barrett, do you have any questions?
No, I don't.
Ms. McLean? No. Mr. Maltz?
Yeah, just quickly. So if you're sure they're separate services and can show that, then why not just show that to the city and satisfy the condition?
Well, my understanding is if you go online to the city database, the pipes are shown there independently. So I guess it's really just a matter of referring to that database. Our request is that the condition is unnecessary because it's already known where the pipes are.
Oh, that's the same question of planning.
Yeah, when we get there. Yep. Okay. All right. So now we'll move on to our planning and see if they've got some comments to make about this application.
Of course. Thank you for the opportunity, Mr. Chair. So with regards to the JUMA, after further review, staff agree with the agent, and we have removed the JUMA agreement or requirement from the revised staff report. As it relates to the servicing, if you go on GeoWater, you'll be able to see the city's infrastructure, but you won't be able to see the location of the laterals to each of these buildings, which is why we're requesting the post-approval that the applicant submit a preliminary servicing plan that shows where those laterals are and making sure that they don't cross the new property line that is being created through this application. We're confident that it doesn't cross the line, but before we're willing to formalize the severance, we'd like to confirm 100% that each lot is independently serviced. Thank you.
Okay. All right, on to questions now from the panel. Mr. Baltz?
Always first. Yeah, just so it's on the record, what would constitute that proof? What does the applicant have to do to show that the laterals are not crossing the lot line?
Absolutely. So they can update the draft reference plan that was submitted that are showing the location of the laterals. That can be done by a surveyor, or they can go ahead and get a servicing plan done by a professional licensed engineer. Would also be another avenue.
Thank you.
Ms. McLean, any questions? Mr. Barrett, do you have any questions? No questions? Okay. Now I'd like to ask the public if they've got any questions. So anybody in the chamber? Nope. And anyone online? No one online. Okay. It is now up to Ms. Martins. You can have the last word, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for agreeing to remove the JUMA agreement. I think that makes eminent sense. With regard to locating the laterals, the client doesn't necessarily have an issue with it. It's really just because the laterals must be in the public right of way, and the proposed lot line is only internal to the actual structure. It seems like a bit of a waste of time and effort, but if it is absolutely necessary, of course, we will do it to satisfy these conditions.
Thank you very much. Now I'd like to ask the panel if they'd like to reserve on this application. All those in favor? This application will be reserved, and we'll let you know in about 10 days. Ms. Martins, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Now, at this time, it concludes our meeting, our hearing today. Thank you all very much for your help.